Welcome back to another episode of Lounge 11 with Femi and Samco, where we like to talk about football. My name is Femi. I'm here with my co-host Samco. Samco, how's your week coming along?
Busy, man. Back to the busy one, man. It's been a long week, can't even lie, but we're here. How's it been
Yeah,
for you?
I'm gonna need all that energy, man. It's been a very it's been
It's
a
been
very
long.
long week.
It's been
Yeah,
long.
man, it's been a long week. I'm
Yeah.
tired, but we have to give our listeners what
Gotta keep
they
going.
want. So we gotta keep going. We gotta keep going.
Yeah.
So happy to be here. Happy to be here. Maybe this week we'll start with our game from last weekend, Arsenal Newcastle, because
Yeah.
I'm looking at the games and there's not a lot that actually happened
Happened over the
last
weekend,
week,
yeah.
right? So maybe we'll start there. Arsenal Newcastle. We
Yeah.
were at home to Newcastle, a game that some people in your corner had told you that we were going to draw points
Yeah.
in the run-in. And it was kind of nervy at times, but ultimately it was a 1-0 win for Arsenal. Goal by Eze, another goal from the set piece.
And
What did you make of that game? If you still remember, because it looks like a lot has
yeah, I
happened
know it
since
feels
then.
like a long time, right? But
Yeah.
from the little I can remember from that game, I think the first half I think we were good the first half. Again, we got the opportunity to see the likes of Eze Odegaard on the pitch, right? So that was good to go. I think we were quite okay. I wouldn't say it was a great performance, but I think we were quite okay up until the moment where we lost. Who did we lose first? I think it was Kai, right?
Kai.
Yeah, we
Kai.
lost Kai first, but I think the game kind of changed more when we lost Eze basically during the game. Yeah, I think the game changed a little bit more. We controlled the game. We gave Newcastle as well the opportunity, not the opportunities, but we gave them the ball as well. So they had majority of the ball, especially in the second half, to try to do something. But at no point in that game was I actually nervous, especially for the fact that they kept throwing in their long balls towards the end of the game, right? And a lot of the times when I see teams do that against Arsenal, I just say you're literally playing into our strengths. We have the heights, we have the goalkeeper who's good at claiming those crosses, we have the defenders and midfielders who are able to defend those crosses and whatnot, right? So for me, it was brief. Again, one of those games where 3 points was more what I was looking for. I was hoping we'll get more goals than we saw during that game, but the minutes Eze went down and all that, I was like, okay, yeah, this game is good. And if you remember at the point, we had the Noni, Eucharist, and Martinelli back on the pitch, and I've always been on that. Once those guys are on the pitch, I'm just like, okay, yeah, this game is done right now. I'm not expecting anything in terms of
Right.
goals and all that. But in terms of nervousness, now at no point was I ever nervous actually in that game. And good 3 points, and we look forward up to the next. That was it for me. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was an interesting game in the sense that we obviously had to win given the run of games that we've had recently. And, when you look at the fixture list for the remaining, what is it, 3 or 4 games we have left now,
Yeah.
or 5 at a time, this would have been one of the ones that people would have been looking at to say, let's see how Arsenal handles this. And I think, at this
Yeah.
point, like you said, 3 points is what the doctor ordered. I could care less about the performances this late in the game. You definitely want to be putting your 3 points on the board. I would take 3 points over games in hand right now. And I think we did everything we had to do.
Uh-huh.
I think some of the talking points was obviously Kai coming back or retaining his starting position. I think is what we had expected. No concerns there. I think if Kai is fit for the rest of the season, I would not be surprised to see him keep the number 9 position. That is the kind of striker that Arteta seems to like. And so, unfortunately, he had to go down injured, and something changed in the way we played after that. In terms of Eze just looks like the guy that was signed for the running. Like the business end of the season. Looks like a maverick. Looks like a guy that when everybody is trying to be intricate, methodical, he's the guy you can give the ball and he can go make something happen. Looks like all of his goals are bangers at this point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I found it really interesting that the fans were on edge with the set piece, because that was the third time we had tried the short set piece that game, and the third one came off. The third time was a charm. But
Okay.
what was your take on that? Like people kind of saying, put it in the box and all of that stuff.
It was funny because I understood where the fans were coming from. Was I against it? No. And I nearly messaged you before the third set piece, like, okay, why do we keep sticking with this set piece? I know. But if a few people remember, the first time I saw this short style, if my memory serves me right, was against Southampton. Remember when we went to go watch the game with the LA guys? You remember how those guys were, like, even inside the bar, people were like, what's this shot? It just didn't come up. But if you remember, there was one where Martinelli was the one in Eze's position, but the keeper punched that ball out, right? So I wasn't really crazy or on the edge about it because I understood why we were using shots for. But people need to realize, for me, I thought it had to do with Newcastle. Because as well, if you look at their own centre-back pairing,
They
you
made a
got
change.
Bond, you got is it Theo or Ty or however they pronounce his name. They have tall physical guys, and you putting that ball into that box doesn't really serve you as it would. Again, let's go back. If you remember at St. James Park, the first goal we scored against them was a short set piece, the Merino goal. But the second one was the one Gabriel came in and got the header, right? So I think it had to do with the team as well. So I wasn't really worried about it because, our set piece coach is someone who has done various things. And if you've shown me that you know what you're doing, who am I to question you, right? And it was very fortunate for him that third time they actually pulled it off, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. The only shock for me is that it has taken this long for us to
That
see it
long.
into the season.
Yeah.
If you remember, you and I had this conversation. Shout out KD. We had this
Oh,
conversation
true
with
that,
KD
yeah.
when Chelsea had put, like, it was, people were talking about the fact that Chelsea found the antidote to
Antidote.
Arsenal set pieces by putting people on the halfway line. And remember, I was saying the next thing you're going to see
Just
is
go
Arsenal
short.
going short, right? And so
Yeah, I remember.
I've been very surprised, and I think, of course, that was in response to a different tactic by
A
Chelsea,
different
which
type,
is
yeah.
putting. But ultimately, it seemed the same to me that
Yeah.
one, in this case, Newcastle made a change. They put Burnley in the lineup, so definitely go for some height there to try and negate
Yeah.
what we do. But I think people think that the set pieces is just like route one for Arsenal. I believe deeply that it is a way to gain territorial advantage. And
Yeah.
that's why I've always been an advocate for a counter to any switches that oppositions would do,
Yeah.
which is you go short.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to keep them penned in, keep them in their own box, and you can recycle the play, which is exactly where Arsenal wants to be. So
Yeah.
that one did not surprise me at all. Obviously, you want to see that executed at a high level, and that's what Eze did. So shout out to Eze on the third attempt there. Beautiful, beautiful strike. Keeper had no chance, and sealed the 3 points for
And
us.
and just to add to that, if I remember, even the Newcastle players, if you watch it again, even the Newcastle players, you could tell they didn't know what to do when they
Yes,
noticed we kept going short. I know Willock was
right,
one guy, for example, he kept looking at the bench and asking for what to do. So it's like,
right,
if you
right,
remember, even the three corners happened within a very short period. So
right.
it's like they did it the first time, they did it the second time. This is not what we were expecting. So how do we
We didn't
counter
plan for
that?
any of this. Yeah.
But by the time they try to figure things out, boom, it was already too late. And yeah,
Yep.
so again, it's like when it comes to the set piece coach, they're different things. Like a lot of people just feel it's just about putting a ball in the box. And I'm like, if you actually watch the way Arsenal do their set pieces, it's different. Before we take it, you see the players are communicating, which means they're trying to figure out, okay, this is the one we're going to take. Are we going to drop it in the middle of the 6-yard box? Are we going long? Are we going short? Are we doing it at the near post, closest to the corner? Are we putting it where the penalty spot is? So again, it worked. So again, credit to them. They found a way to win. 3 points was always most important. And yeah, that was it for me.
Just on that, before we move on, speaking of 3 points, you must have heard a lot of the chatter about how it wasn't really inspiring, it wasn't exciting, and it looks like the words this week in football was exciting, right? Because
Yeah,
of some of the other games that we'll get to later.
yeah.
But what do you make of that? Is that something that concerns you at this stage of the season?
No, no. I mean, for me, no, it doesn't really concern me because um, I enjoy all types of football, right? And we've gotten to the part of the season where entertainment, in terms of my team, which is Arsenal, in this point, I don't know where entertainment serves me. Right? Like, what is going to serve me more, entertainment or 3 points? We're 4 games to go. We've found ourselves in a much difficult situation than we were 2-3 weeks ago. Does entertainment guarantee me the possibility of winning the Premiership? No. Does 3 points guarantee me? Not really, but close to, right? Because it's also dependent on what the opponents do. So I guess everybody just, I think it's different for everybody. Depends on what fan. If you're neutral, you might be looking for entertainment. But for those people who are looking for entertainment, the question I ask is then why do you keep watching Arsenal? Because if game week 1 to game week 20 or game week 18, which was 50% of the season, you didn't get anything entertaining, what makes you feel like game week 34 is when you're going to find something entertaining, right? Then if you want to put it across the scope in Premier League, there's no one team that I can put out there or anybody can convince me and tell me they play entertaining football. Not one. Every game is different because it's very dependent on the opponent and how that game is going. But there's no one team you can tell me consistently they play entertaining football. And that's why I've always said if you're looking for entertainment in football, don't come to the Premier League. Go to the Bundesliga, go to Ligue 1. Those two places, if you watch those leagues regularly, you will find yourself. Don't even go to La Liga. Don't go to Serie A. German league, French league, you find yourself a piece of entertainment. So, yeah, that's it.
All right, let's leave it there. We're not going to spend too much time in the relegation zone today because
Yeah.
both of the teams that look to be neck and neck for that spot actually won is Spurs and
Yeah.
West Ham. So no real jeopardy there other than Spurs remain in that relegation battle. They remain in the relegation spots with 4 games to go. So we'll keep observing that. I'm sure we'll have
Yeah.
more to talk about next week.
You know
Before
what's
we move
funny?
away from
Sorry, just before you move on from that very game in terms of sports, because I didn't think they were going to win the game. You called them to win, right? Anybody who watched that game, would you come out and say Spurs played a good game? Or were they entertaining? Do you think their fans care about entertainment? They didn't play an
I don't know. I didn't
entertainment.
actually see the game
They
to be
actually
fair.
didn't play
So
entertaining football. I felt Wolves were the better team, but they came out with 3 points. Which one
yeah,
is more
they're not in a
important to those
position to
fans?
be. They're not in a position to be choosers
To
right
be
now. You
choosing
know,
exactly.
you
So
get the 3 points, you get the 3 points, and you move on.
yeah,
That's kind of where the story of
true.
Spurs right now. So,
Yeah,
but like I was saying, before we move on from the Premier League, I want to put you on the spot, bro. I need to put you
yeah,
on the spot. You know, Manchester United.
yeah.
They look like they're going to likely finish fourth, but that's not even the question I have for you right now. They had a good win at home against Brentford.
Brentford.
We had
Yeah,
expected them to tie that game.
yeah.
The story is Bruno Fernandes. He got another assist. He got another assist in that game. Beautiful
Yeah.
counter attack. You know, it looks like it started to be on his mind a little bit because he could have scored that goal, the one that he laid off to Sesko. But credit to him, he picked one of two options available to him in Sesko and Embuemo, and they scored. Now he is on 19 assists for the season. I know you called him that he was not going to break the assist record.
Hmm.
4 games to go, is one away from tying it and two to break it.
Yeah.
Update: do you feel like he breaks that this season?
Whew. You said, yeah, 4 games and 2 more to break it. I think the chances are much higher now. I think the chances are much higher now of him breaking it. But we'll wait and we see.
If he goes on to break it, the
Yeah.
question that everybody's asking obviously is where that leaves you in terms of play of the year. What does that do for Bruno's candidacy in
Mm.
play of the year?
In terms of candidacy, yeah, I can't argue that he's definitely going to be in that conversation. Does or should he win it? Assistant by my call by saying no because I would wait to see. For me, it's very dependent on who wins the league and stuff like that, right? There are so many factors that I think need to be played into this Player of the Year award, and I don't know if we're trying to dive into those like different contexts and reasons and everything. But for me, yes, I still wouldn't put him to win it, even if he breaks the record. Yeah.
Okay. Who are your candidates right now? I'm guessing they haven't changed since
I
the
mean,
last
right
time.
now from Man City, I'm still putting Haaland up there. I want to put Semenyo, but Semenyo has the Bournemouth numbers and everything, so that's kind of like a little bit shaky. And then from the Arsenal side, I'm still putting my four has still hasn't changed. Either of the
Oh,
center
four.
backs, like I said, it depends, right? Either of the center backs, Raya or Rice, right? So yeah.
Cool. We'll keep observing. So it'd be cool to kind of get a pulse on, or maybe we could actually do it right now. Who knows? I don't know. Because I think someone had messaged on one of our group chats who your candidates are for some of the awards, right? So for
Oh,
young
okay, I
player
get
of
what
the
you mean.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, let's just get to it. Young player of the year. Who's tracking as the
Oh
guy
yeah,
for you
you're
right now?
young player. I'm giving it to Nico O'Reilly.
O'Reilly.
That's my
Man,
candidate.
Kruppi's got
Yeah.
a good shout too,
Kruppi has a good shout too. Yeah. Kruppi has a good shout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the other awards that were on there?
I think it was manager of the year,
Manager of the year, yeah.
player of the year, young player of the year, most improved, and best signing. I think, if I'm correct.
Ooh, what do you have
Yeah.
for manager of the year right now?
Manager of the year. I think I want to wait till the season ends. But I'll say nominees right now. I'll definitely have Pep, Arsenal. Sorry, Pep, Mikel. What's his name at Sunderland? I can't remember
What
that
I
guy's
don't even know
name.
how to pronounce guys. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll put the guy from Sunderland. Who are the other managers actually? Um, so people might say
man,
Keith
Bournemouth is on
Andrews
there.
from Brentford. Where's
Bournemouth
Bournemouth in the
is
league?
I don't know, like six or seven. They're seventh.
The seventh. See,
Yeah,
Ariola. Yeah. So there's a few candidates for manager for sure. Yeah.
most improved.
Most improved. I had two players. I had I think if I remember, it was Kruppi and Thiago from Brentford. Yeah. I think those were the two guys I put. Yeah.
Uh, best signing.
Best signing. There's a lot of options, but I would go. I don't know why I just stick with Granite Xhaka.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think Granite Xhaka for me.
Well, I think people are going to find my most improved.
Give the people your nominees or your winners.
Uh, I don't have actually, I have two people. I have two people that are on there, but my winner is actually clear. Only one guy is truly deserving, just given the impact and what he has delivered for his team so far. It's kind of hard, right? When you double your output over the last two seasons in one season, it's kind of hard to look. It's hard to look past that guy. So my current front runner for most improved is none other than Manchester United's very own Bruno Fernandes. Uh, this guy went from 10 assists last season. He had 8 and 10 assists last season in 36 appearances in the league. And right now he's trending towards doubling that. He has 8 goals and 19 assists this season.
Oh,
I
so he
do
just
expect
kind of
him
like
to.
almost flipped it.
Right, almost
Yeah.
doubled it, right? And if you
Mhm.
take into account 2023, 2024 season, he had 8 assists in the 2023-2024 season, and he had 10 assists last year as well. So that's 18 assists over the last two seasons. This season
Okay.
alone, he has 19. So definitely more than made up for the last two seasons combined, and would on track to double the output from last season. So on that ground, I think for me, he is without a doubt the most improved player in the Premier League. I do have I do have what's the other guy's name? The Casemiro. It's kind of hard to call the 34-year-old most improved, but this guy was on the way out. I mean, he's still leaving at the end of the season.
Yeah.
People said leave the game before the game leaves you, and right now I think he's the second top scorer.
Mm,
This year across
yeah.
all midfielders. So hell of a season, hell of a season.
Very good
So
season.
those two are definitely leading my most improved. Thiago would have been a good shout, but I don't know that I can say that he improved when he barely played the first season. He was injured for most of last season. He only played what is less than 8 games. So we didn't get to see him play at all. So this is in effect maybe his first full season. So yeah, technically we could consider a second season. If we're doing that, then maybe I would he just edges it over Fernandes for me. But without that, I think Fernandes is the clear most improved.
Yeah. What about manager and player of the year?
Manager is a little bit tricky because I think the obvious thing is to want to give it to the guy that wins at the end of the day, but
Um,
I'm looking at it a little bit differently. You have to kind of give credit to certain managers that overachieved given
mhm.
what they had, right? So Bournemouth is, I'm thinking about them, Iraola has done a tremendous job. They potentially finish above Chelsea as is looking right now. They're above Chelsea, and if things bounce in their favor, they could be in the Champions League next season, right? And
Mhm.
Brentford is another one.
Yeah.
They lost their manager, they lost two of their best players,
A lot of
and
people thought they would relegate.
a lot of people condemned them for relegation. And right
Yeah.
now they're also in a position where they're level
For
on points with
Europe.
Chelsea,
Yeah.
right? They're just a few points off the sixth spot, right? They're just 2 points off sixth. So it's crazy what they've been able to
What
do.
they've been
So if
able to do.
Thiago
Yeah.
is considered for one of those awards, then certainly, the coach, Andrews, right? I think is his name,
Yeah. I think it's Kid. Yeah.
right?
Kid Andrews. Yeah.
Definitely is also considered. Everton, I think, what's his name?
David
That OG, David O'Reilly,
Moyes.
oh,
Moyes.
David Moyes. Yeah, sorry. David Moyes doing a hell of a job over there. Yeah, so many good candidates. I don't think I'm going to go with the obvious like Pep or Arteta. Those guys are like, you expect, this is what you expect from them.
Expect.
Anything
Yeah.
short of that is failure. It's kind of how we're looking at it. So I want to use that opportunity to give credit to some of the guys who've done a hell of a job. So that would be um, my manager of the year. And what was the other one again? I think that was the signing of the season.
Signing of the
Yeah,
season
you
and
had
player of
Granite
the year.
Xhaka. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like Granite Xhaka too. So
Yeah.
can't think too much of
Well, who
who
are
I
your
would
nominees
pick.
for player of the year?
Whew. Oh,
Sorry, I
player of the
forgot to
year.
throw. Yeah, I forgot to throw Bernardo Silva into that as well for player of the year.
For player of the year.
Yeah, I think he's been very good this season. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. For me, I think he's been
Okay.
very good. I think he's just one of those guys that, again, he doesn't have the numbers, so people will just. But I think he's been very good for Man City this year, especially second half of the season.
I agree that he's been good,
Uh,
but player of the year, like that's the first time I'm even hearing that name in
I
the
think I'll throw him in
conversation
there as
at
a
all.
nominee for sure.
I think the impact of Gay is understated because even before he joined
Before he
Man City,
joined,
he was already
yeah,
having a pretty decent season. And so I think for him, it's going to be tough because his
because of the
work is cut
same,
across
yeah, so
two
same
different
like
teams.
Semenyo,
So
yeah.
recency bias is going to come in. People are going to forget that he had played a pretty stellar season as well for Crystal Palace. But if you want to be objective, I think he's up there too from the Man City contingent. Semenyo, same thing applies, although seems to have tapered off a little bit towards the end here for him with the
How about
output.
Thiago? Won't you put Thiago in there?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. Thiago is in there.
yeah,
Haaland is in there for me.
yeah.
Um, I don't know if you can win most improved and player of the year at the same time, but definitely Bruno is in that category because I think what he has done on course to break the assist record definitely earns him that candidacy for sure. With all due respect to what he's doing,
Yeah.
on the Arsenal side, I think for me I can't have four. I don't have four. I think I have
No, no, no. I'm
Raya.
not putting all four. I mean, like it could be any of those four. That's what I
Okay.
meant.
I've not the Saliba shout is kind of
I
a
think I
little
think
bit tame.
really I think a lot of people have underestimated what Saliba has done this season. Sometimes I feel maybe even the goals of Gabriel has shadowed
That's what it is. Full
Saliba's
stop.
work. Yeah, because to
That's
me,
what
I
it
feel
is. I don't
Saliba
think
has
it's
been better this
underestimating.
season than Gabriel. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
the
but
same for
so
you.
I'll tell you the formula. I don't know what's been better or not, right?
Yeah.
They've been good.
Hmm.
It's a pairing that is kind of hard to break apart. Like one without the other doesn't seem as solid to me, right? They go together. But the reason why Gabriel edges it for me is exactly what you just mentioned. It's the
The
goals,
goals.
right?
Okay.
Because we can't have the conversation. We can't have the conversation on one end about where Arsenal set pieces have led us to,
Uh-huh.
without acknowledging the fact that Gabriel, being one of the important pieces of the team from a defensive standpoint, has
Uh-huh.
also been an important part from a goal scoring standpoint. So I think for that reason, Gabriel edges it. There's not a question of his quality over Saliba's for me. I
Yeah, for
just think
me,
it's down to his impact.
mine has, I definitely edged Saliba because I think his performances this season have been very, very good. I think we can call maybe 2, 3 games. He hasn't been the best game. And I remember when Gabriel was injured from the November international break up until end of December, January, he really did steady that centre back position with whichever partner they gave to him, Hincapié, Calafiori, Mosquera, and stuff like that. So that is the one thing I still use to give him just a little bit of that edge and say he's had a very good season this year. But yeah, like you said, in terms of the goals that Gabriel has added, that is also a big point as well for him.
Yeah, but my front runners from the Arsenal standpoint are actually Raya and
Rice,
Rice in
yeah,
no
same for me.
particular order.
Yeah,
I won't be mad if any of them gets it. I think
yeah,
it's probably more likely Rice because
Rice.
it's what it won in the last 30 years that we've seen a goalkeeper or something like that win the
Mhm.
award. So
Yeah,
for that reason, it probably lean more towards Rice
more
than
towards
Raya,
Rice.
but
Yeah,
I'm happy with either or.
yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got. Let's switch gears a little bit and jump right into Europe, where a lot of the talk was about the exciting game that we witnessed between PSG hosting Bayern Munich
Yeah,
on Tuesday. That game was crazy, man. 5-4. 5-4.
yeah.
You heard all the talk about one of the best games that people have ever seen.
Mm,
Ultimately 9 goals were scored. One team considered 5, the other considered 4.
mm,
And I think Bayern are probably happier going back to the
definitely.
Allianz Arena. So
Yeah,
let me get your thoughts on that game. You saw all the chats and all the noise in WhatsApp groups. So what is
yeah.
your thought on
Watching that game, it felt like I was on a treadmill. Like, like it was just like when you're running on a treadmill and your heart just keeps going because
it? Yeah.
you couldn't take your eye off the game because at a point I kept telling myself this feels like chaos, but I'm enjoying the goals just being scored here and there, right? Like the game felt like two guys or two people with egos and they just wanted to showcase like, oh,
That's an interesting
my
analogy.
way is better than your way is better than my way, right? But the
Right.
thing I actually enjoyed about the game that for me, more than anything was I think this was one of the few games that I saw individual quality all stand out at the same time. That was the thing I enjoyed about that game. If you look at the attacking individuals that we had in that game, they all showcased how good they were one way or the other, right? You look at Kvaratskhelia goal for PSG, beautiful. You look at Dembele, he missed that opportunity, but you see what he did when he was attacking. He got a penalty. Wait, did he score two that game or he scored and he assisted? I can't even remember.
I'll pull it up. I don't remember as well. It just seemed like everybody scored that day.
Yeah, because it was just so much. Then Harry Kane, let's go
Yeah,
to the other
Dembele had
side.
2 goals.
Two
Yeah.
goals, exactly. So his other goal. Then you go to the Bayern Munich side. Olise was just nice. To me, up against the best left back in the world, and he seemed to be having a good day. Look at his goal. To me, his goal was a little bit. I was like, how did he get all that space in the middle to just get into the box and shoot. I found that goal very, very weird. But again, he took his goal very well. Harry Kane, that pass to Luis Diaz. My goodness. You know
That
when they say
was
it, like you
solid.
said, chef keys. I think that was the best goal of the night because not
Yes,
only was the pass that nice, the first control from
Diaz taking
Diaz
that out of the air.
out of the air, and then he just moves his shoulder to create a little bit of space and puts it on the back of the net. Those were the things I enjoyed about that game. Like their individual quality just stood out for me. So for me, it wasn't really like a tactical, my tactics. It just felt like, I have shiny
Shootout.
toys. Exactly. I
Yeah.
have these shiny toys and I'm coming here to showcase those toys. And that's what the game felt like. Because when you actually look at the game, defensively, it was crazy. And I remember after the game, the likes of Harry Kane coming out to say, we saw amazing pieces of defense. And I'm looking at it like, have you lost your mind? Bro, you conceded 4 goals. How do you come out and you say you saw amazing defense? Sorry, you conceded 5 goals. The other one conceded 4 goals. Like at halftime, 5 goals had been scored. It was crazy, right?
In the Champions League
In the
semifinal.
Champions League semi-final. So for the neutrals, we would have enjoyed that. But what I would have wanted to know, if you remember, I messaged you and I said, I wish I knew a PSG or a Bayern Munich fan because I wanted to know how they felt watching that game because it's so much easy for all of us to come out and say, oh, we enjoyed that game. This is how football is meant to be played. But guess what? We don't have any emotional attachments to those teams. Your team was not involved in conceding 4 or 5 goals in the Champions League semi-final, where you know you need to do something to get to the next stage. And just like you said, Bayern Munich will go home feeling the better of both teams. And we came out last week and I felt it was going to be a schooling by Enrique. And at a point, it felt like that when it was 5-2. But then again, how are you 5-2 up in a semi-final and you let that lead sleep? Because next week, if you happen to not go to that final, what was it for? At what cost was it?
No one would say you gave us the most
Do you
exciting game
understand,
we've
right?
seen.
Like
It would just
it's
be
you were five
PSG
two.
have been knocked out.
You
Yeah.
were 5-2. So it was really interesting to see that game. It was also interesting to see the narratives because we spoke after the game. I remember I asked you, like, if an English team was involved in this game, what do you think the narratives would have been? Because I remember the PSG Chelsea game that ended, was it 5-2 at Parc de France? And I remember everybody looking at Chelsea and saying, you were so open. Like at a point, you guys were going band for band, band for band. I think it was 2-2. And the next thing you lost that. And what happened? You're out of the Champions League today. I remember, now let's bring it back to England. I remember Man City Fulham 5-4. I remember the City fans going at their team and saying, like, yo, we're just bad defensively. This is the Premier League. What happens if they scored again to make it 5-5 and all that? So it was very interesting to see. I can even the most recent example, like I remember when we were back home in Nigeria, we did the whole NFC watch along. We saw the Manchester United fans there. We all had a blast. The Man U 4, Bournemouth 4.
4-4.
We all had a blast because our teams were not involved. But if I remember correctly, a lot of those Manchester United fans, they were not happy. They didn't lose the game. It was entertaining. 8 goals were scored, but none of them were happy, right? So I think it depends on what side you're coming from. I don't want my team to be involved in that type of madness in a Champions League semi-final, right? I would prefer to see that in maybe a preseason game. But if I'm seeing that in a game, like for example, the league, I want to be the one coming out with that five goals because it gives me 3 points. But in a cup game, we never just know where that thing is going to swing to. So as a neutral, I enjoyed the goals, the attacking part of it. But every other thing, I didn't really see or I didn't really enjoy other part because the technicality and the brilliance of the midfield, especially that of PSG that we praised, I didn't really see that in that game. That of Bayern Munich, we didn't really see that. I think they were almost it was like a transition game that just kept happening very, very fast. So I guess everyone is different, right? Like I said, for me, it was more of the individual brilliance and quality that I enjoyed in that game. So I guess you just have to tell us how you saw it yourself.
Not very different. I watch the game these days as a manager, as a coach, right? I'm looking
Yeah.
at what is this team trying to do, what was the other team trying to do, and try to find how you exploit vulnerabilities. It just
Mm-hmm.
seemed like an exhibition match to me. And it's funny because you're talking about one of the highest stake games. You're talking about the semifinal, the first leg of the semifinal in the Champions League. It's not
Yeah.
like the preseason. It's not, with all due respect to Chelsea, Club World Cup or anything like that. This
Yeah.
is a high stakes game. And
Mm-hmm.
it was played like an exhibition match. And that's where, just as a neutral, it's fun. You enjoy
Mm-hmm.
it, but if if my team is in that, even if we win 5-4, I'm disappointed
Yeah.
because it
Especially if I
means
was
that
5-2 up.
right.
Yeah.
If I score five in any game and have to concede four to and still win the game, it's disappointing, right? Whether it's
Mm-hmm.
the league, whether it's the Champions League, whether it's because I talk about minimizing the variance in the game. Clearly, you did not. If you concede four goals in the game, you were unable to minimize the variance. It means you let yourself get sucked into the back and forth of it. And in today's game, that is dangerous. That if you concede four on most days, you're going to lose. The off time that you manage to score five, great, you might win the game. But if you allow
Yeah.
yourself to get in a position where you're conceding four goals, the chances of you getting out of there with a win, not very
It's
great.
very
So
low.
from that
Yeah.
standpoint, I thought it was not the greatest. From a manager standpoint, I'm sure they would have been frustrated. But from a neutral,
Yeah.
like you said, man, it was fun. It was exciting.
Mm.
Some of the best players on the planet going back for back. So yeah. But I think I will be surprised if I saw the same kind of game next week.
We're not going to see that next week.
I think there's going to be the reality that okay, in a shootout, you're one bullet away from getting killed,
Killed. Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so I don't think I don't expect to see a shootout, I should say.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see that
So,
next game.
I think it was fun while it lasted. It was
Yeah.
enjoyable for the rest of us, but I wouldn't want to be a part of that. But what that did was it set a lot of heightened expectations, or maybe removed expectations one way or the other for the
Okay.
game that happened after, which is Arsenal versus Atletico. We were going away to Atletico, and the general consensus was that based on what we have seen today, don't expect anything exciting. I didn't actually see the game. I caught some of the highlights and
Mhm.
watched some of it till I fell asleep last night. But it looked like a pretty decent game. Like it looked
Yeah.
like an enjoyable game. But
Yeah.
you saw the game.
Yeah.
Thankfully, you were texting me throughout just to kind of keep me in the loop, which I really appreciate. But walk
Mm.
me through your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, this is another game I enjoyed because again, when you look at both sides of the Champions League, it was like two teams that's, like I said, ego for ego. They all just wanted to showcase their toys, and everybody enjoyed that. And then you on the other side, and you're looking at two teams or two managers who are very structured. The shape of their team is the most important thing to them, controlling of games and everything. So I did enjoy the game. I thought the first half we were way better. In the first half, I think we really did control the game very much. There was at no point did it even feel nervy, especially for the fact that we were away. If you remember last week, I said this is one of those games that they hardly lose European games at their home, and that's why I predicted a draw for this game. And then the second half came in. I felt Atletico Madrid were far the better team in the second half. The first 15 to 20 minutes, I think you could tell they increased their tempo and things like that. Now, let me go back to before the game. When we saw the lineup, we saw again the front three that a lot of us have not been happy about. But I got the opportunity to watch the game again, and I was like, why did he start this against Atletico Madrid? And I noticed he tried to go for a team that, in terms of we having an opportunity to counter attack or in the transition, we had the players for that in the first half, right? But the most interesting thing for me that happened in the first half was I noticed that Rice actually was one who played the six. Zubimendi was much further, and Declan Rice was kind of in their middle. And to me, it worked right? But then again, I also asked myself, why did he make that change? And I felt he also had to do with that transition as well that Atletico Madrid could bring against us. So he wanted Rice in the six who can definitely intercept and break a lot of that play. But in the second half, they were the much better team. We already had a penalty, so it was 1-0 leading into the second half. Second half, they come up on top, they get a penalty, 1-1. Controversial penalty again, just like we saw at the Bayern Munich game. So 1-1. And then Mikel took off Odegaard first. I didn't know why, because at that point, I could tell we were still trying to find our footing in the second half, but reports are coming out now that, again, it had to do with his knee. And then immediately after that, he brings on Trossard, Saka, and Jesus, right? So when he makes those three subs, and again, I made it known, I'm not a fan when Mikel does those three subs. But I noticed why he did it, because at that point, Atletico Madrid had gotten much more comfortable and they were the ones on the up. So now he didn't need those runners. He didn't need the counter-attacking style of football. He now needed people who would let the ball stick on the other side when we're able to get the ball to the other side, but people that were much technical and can make things happen for us. But that didn't happen immediately because Eze came in trying to find his first foot. Trossard came in, lost the ball a couple times. Eze lost the ball a couple times. Saka lost the ball a couple times. And it's like, okay, now three of our most important attackers behind the striker are already struggling because you've made those subs so quickly and all at the same time. But somehow they got the better of the game. And I think from maybe the 75th minute, 77th minute, I think we were now the better team. We got our footing. We got back into controlling the game. Even without Odegaard, I was surprised we had a much better control of the game. But then again, Atletico Madrid had retreated at this point. We get a penalty, cancelled, and the game ended 1-1. And for me, I think that was a good result coming back home. I think it was a fair result because Atletico Madrid also had their chances. I remember, what was his name? Alvarez, good shots at Raya, Griezmann hitting the bar. So I think they had two opportunities as well that they could have said they could have scored as well. So I think the draw was a fair result. Thankfully, we didn't lose that game in any way. I don't think we were close to losing the game. So I'll take my chances with that result going back to the Emirates for sure.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I didn't see the game. I've seen some highlights, but I did see that there were some talking points. So let's talk about those talking points. The penalty incidents, both the one that White conceded and the one that was overturned by VAR. The White one, we saw precedents the day before, which I thought was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Even in the other game, right?
Yeah.
I think it's been pretty much established, at least in the Champions League, or maybe in the Premier League. Ball comes off any part of your body towards your arm, there's some leeway there, right? You
Even the
didn't make
Champions
yourself
League.
bigger.
Yeah.
Right. And we saw that against White, and it was kind of strange, right? I think it was off of his leg and it hit his arm.
Yeah.
I can see why, to be fair. Like, it's not the craziest decision that I've seen on a football pitch, right? Because you can make the argument that even though the ball comes off his body, still made himself bigger. But based on what we've been
He actually
told,
didn't
that
make
should never have
he
been.
actually didn't make himself bigger.
Yeah, no, but like,
I have a little bit of blame on Ben White too for that still.
what was to blame?
So let me not call it blame. I think I was a little bit harsh on Ben White for that because I felt in that position he should have tried to attack or defend that ball with his arms behind his back. If you look at the replay, when the ball hit his hand wasn't going away from his body. It was coming towards his body because of the way his leg is. Yeah. So if you look at it, that is almost a natural position for a hand because it feels like he wants to fall. But if he had his arms like this, because he was in the box, and there was another opportunity that Atletico Madrid had, and he hit Gabriel on the arm as well. Yeah. But what did Gabriel do? He had his arms behind his back. So it's a little bit harsh, but again, just for the fact we're playing in Europe and we see how the handball in Europe has been very different from the Premier League. That's why I said That was the only part I could have criticized Ben White for. But then again, in itself, I still don't believe that's a penalty. I've checked the rules. It doesn't meet the rules. But I think that call was made because of what happened the day before. I
You're
think
talking about Bayern Munich.
the Bayern Munich, I think the refs made that decision based on the game before to make things consistent. And if you remember when I texted you, I said it deflected off the leg. I don't see how they don't give this as a penalty. And
Right.
again, it was off the same because of what had happened the day before.
Yeah. Fair enough. But then the easy one, that is, yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch the game, but when I saw the replays, I was like, how did this get overturned? I was almost texting you at midnight because I think that was around like 11 o'clock is when I watched the highlights and stuff. I was like, well, how did this get overturned again? Because
not even overturned. How did he go to the screen?
Well, yeah, I guess you could say
how
that.
did he go to the screen?
What called him to the screen?
What called him to the screen? Because the referee was 5 yards maybe from the incident. And normally in Europe, when they call for a penalty,
so that means he saw it.
Exactly. Yeah. Because usually when they will call, sometimes you see them, they take a few seconds and they point. He literally called it because he was 5 yards away from it. Right? Even when I saw the replay, I'm like, But when I saw him kept holding his earpiece and they were talking to him, I was like, yeah. If this guy goes to the screen, this penalty is gone. The minute I saw him saying he was going to the screen, I was like, yeah, the penalty is gone. So I don't even know what, I didn't even see what was enough to take, because again, we were told VAR was brought in for clear and obvious errors. Right? The ref was right there. He made the call. It took them so much time to send him to the VAR screen. Even when he went to the VAR screen, it took him close to 40 seconds, if not more, to make that decision. So that in itself tells me it's not a clear and obvious error. It tells me that the VAR, you have literally influenced that referee's decision, which is almost re-refereeing a game. But brother, how is the person who is miles away making that decision for you who was 5 yards away, who saw it and made the call? That was the part I just didn't understand. And I think the stadium, the manager, I think the atmosphere, everything played a role in changing that call and everything. And yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I've watched that thing like quite a few times and I'm not sure why it got overturned. Now, it's one of those ones where if it wasn't given and then
I will understand it.
Yes.
But if it wasn't given, do you think VAR calls him to the screen?
If it wasn't given and the referee saw it, I don't think they call him to the screen.
So the ref gave it, he saw it. Why was he taken to the screen?
That's the frustration, right? Because for you to have been called to the screen is because something was an obvious error.
Obvious. Yeah.
So I don't know what the obvious error was. When you saw it, you called it, you gave a penalty. Where is the error? There was contact. The error would be there was no contact.
There was no contact, yeah.
Anything outside of that is re-refereeing the game, right? So, a bit disappointing, but, like you said, on the balance of play, maybe a 1-1 result, just if you want to be objective about what both of those teams did, maybe it's fair. But it's always going to feel disappointing from an Arsenal standpoint because it felt like a penalty that should have been awarded, especially when you get one against you that shouldn't or appears like it shouldn't have been awarded. So, it's 1-1, all square. We take it back to the Emirates and hopefully we can get the job done there. So, credit. But there is something concerning that I wanted to bring up as we shift gears a little bit to the weekend. That is now the 8th game in a row where we have either not scored or only scored 1 goal. We haven't scored more than 1 goal in 8 games since the Leverkusen game. Yes, 8 games we haven't scored more than 1 goal. Leverkusen at home was the last one, the 2-0 win against Bayern Leverkusen. Is that a concern for you?
Um, if it was a few weeks ago, I would have said yes. Now I would say no, but my reasons are based on the players we have coming back now in terms of the likes of Saka. Eze is back in the squad. Odegaard is back in the squad. Who else? We finally have our left backs. I think Califiori is back in the squad because I think our fullbacks are very instrumental in how we play. But just for the fact that the likes of Saka, Eze especially are back in the squad, I think those numbers should increase because I'm pretty sure if we look at those 8 games, we haven't really scored more than one game. I think those guys were not involved in the game. Am I correct if I look at it that
Which
way?
guys are you talking about?
Eze, Saka.
Eze definitely wasn't involved because he got injured after the Leverkusen game, which
Okay.
is the last one that I think that was the one
And then
that he
Saka
scored the
got
volley,
injured
and then Saka
hasn't
got
played since the
injured.
Carling Cup.
Yep.
Then Odegaard just came back. Yeah. So am I worried? No, no, to be honest, because again, I mean, I think sometimes you're going to go through these types of droughts. Sometimes you're going to go through droughts where you haven't scored a goal. Sometimes you're going to go through it. So, yeah, I'm not worried. A few weeks ago, I said I would have been worried if we didn't have the likes of like Saka and Eze coming in. But now we have those guys coming in. For the last few games, I wouldn't say I would share the same concern.
Okay. I will give my thoughts as we go into predictions, or I guess looking ahead to the weekend's games. So let's see. I'm looking here. Nothing is really jumping out at me. So tomorrow, Friday, Leeds play Burnley. I would expect them to win. They're
Mm-hmm.
almost safe from relegation, it looks like. So maybe we'll start with
Burnley
the
sucked their
first game.
manager.
Yes, they
I
did.
woke up this morning and I was shocked.
I saw that
Did he
actually.
get sacked or
Yeah,
did he leave?
I don't even know. I just saw the
Yeah,
news
so,
about he's no
yeah,
longer. Yeah, but it's a non-event at this point because they're
yeah.
down. So I didn't even pay attention. However, actually, the first game on Saturday is Brentford and West Ham. That is a tough one for the relegation race because I think that's going to be a tough game for
It's going to
West
be a
Ham.
tough game for West Ham. I think West Ham should try and get a draw out of that game if they can win it. Because the Brentford I saw against Manchester United, bro, they scoffed so many chances, man. Especially in the
Yo,
first half.
Thiago
Like
missed some
Thiago was
some
just
some
a
chances,
shadow of
bro.
himself. So
What?
I think I will. I think I'll go for it. I think I'll go for a draw just for the fact that the relegation team is involved. West Ham need these points. They need these points. So yeah, I think I'll go for a draw. Yeah.
Let's move on to Arsenal hosting Fulham on Saturday. Now, I just asked you if you're concerned about the goals. I am concerned, and I want those concerns to be put to bed against Fulham this Saturday. I think we're due catching a body, and I would like if that I would like if that body is Fulham, like when we play them on Saturday. A 3-0 is kind of what I'm feeling like, my guy. Like a little light 3 or 4. So 4 of them things at the Emirates would be good, you know?
Yeah, I mean that would be
So,
nice.
yeah, because I expect Saka to play. I expect
Yeah,
Eze to get involved, you
yeah.
know? I don't
It will
know
be
how
interesting
much
to
those
see the
guys will play.
lineup just for the fact of
Yes.
Atletico Madrid on the other side on
Yes.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah.
I expect the
In
big
terms of
boys
goals, I
to
don't
get
know how many
involved.
I can predict. Because Fulham isn't one of those teams that does a lot of high pressing. So I think this game might be a little bit more comfortable for us. But yeah, I think this game is very dependent on the starting 11 that starts the game. Because I think it's one of those games that if we're winning into halftime, I can see the result staying the same by full time. But it depends on how many goals as well. If it's like
3-0 for
If
Arsenal.
it's like Newcastle, I see us doing the same thing because I think it's going to also take off some players and just try to kill that game off. I think I predicted 2-0 actually.
I want to catch a body.
Yeah, I think I predicted 2-0 for that one.
It's about time that someone gets the work. 8 games, man. That's crazy. 8 games we haven't scored more than 1 goal. Nah. There is an
Of
example
course,
there.
someone is going to get something
It's
between now and the end of the season. Things like that
it's a
always
little bit
happen,
too
bro.
colorful for me to share it, but when there's a lot of pent up anger.
But then again, if you look at this season in general across the whole league, there's not been a lot of games where someone has gotten like a beat down.
We
I'm
just saw
trying to
one
think
2
of which
days
one
ago,
stands
2
out.
games ago. Forest and
Forest, yeah.
Forest and Wooded played not too long.
Sunderland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Who
just
else?
saw one.
Who else?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, who else has given someone a beat down this season?
What are you talking about, my guy?
Oh, give
Spurs
Leeds
home and away.
Shit. Yeah, Spurs home and away. Leeds. I think Man City did to Wolves. Yeah, true.
Even Chelsea, they drew 1-1 with us.
Mm-hmm. They beat Villa 4-1 or 4-0.
There you go.
Yeah, true.
There's been some bodies, and I want more bodies, man. I want to catch a body real quick.
Yeah, I think Burnley will be the one to catch that one with us, actually, though.
And that's like later now. I want something.
Oh, you want it now?
Wait, that's Burnley is 2 games from now. So after Fulham is Burnley.
No. West Ham in between.
Oh, there's West Ham.
West Ham, yeah.
West Ham's gonna be tough, man. West Ham is gonna be tough.
It's going to be tough, but
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get there.
We'll deal with that.
Yeah. Fulham, I'll go 2-0 for that one.
If you're going 2, I'm going 4. I've changed it from 3 to 4. I'm going. My Delulu, man. Shit, it's Delulu season, my guy.
Yeah, I'll go 2.
All right. Let's move on. United against Liverpool on Sunday.
That thing smells a draw. There's nothing on that game.
You think so?
I
think it's a 6-pointer.
Whoever
wins that game. Not really. I mean, United still has 1 win to seal that.
Yeah,
they have to win 1 more game to do that.
Yeah, but top 5 makes Euro. I don't see any of them falling out of top 5.
Fairs. Yeah, but I mean, I think you definitely want to finish higher than lower because you don't want to get stuck into that. You don't want to get pulled down. But I don't. Yeah, you're right in the sense that both of them, a draw gets both of them into Europe likely. But
yeah,
I think that Liverpool are going to win this game.
Really?
I don't know why I feel that way. I think
I would like that because I'm still looking for that one thing that just shakes the top 4 in a way. Like I've been waiting for weeks. Like
this is the one.
Where's that thing that just flips everything all around? And I'm yet
This is the one. You're gonna see.
I'm going to draw for this one though. I'm going to draw for this one, but yeah, I would like a Liverpool win just to see. Because who does Villa play?
We'll come into that. Don't rush me. We're coming to this.
I just remembered who they play. Oh, okay. I'm with you on that Liverpool win.
Things can still move around.
Okay. Yeah, see it now.
Okay. All right. Coming to one of your favorite topics, Spurs. They are going away to Villa, who lost today, by the way, in the first leg of the semi-finals of Europa. So I don't know if they're going to be wounded or whatever the case might be, but they are going to be hosting Spurs, that is for sure, on Sunday. So late kickoff, actually, which is crazy. We don't see too many of this, but either way.
I like the late
Banter
kickoff
is going to be on. What?
Oh, I said I like the late kickoff for that very game.
Yeah, we're going to be on Banter asking Wale all the questions live as it's happening.
Oh, it's going to be happening at that time too?
Yeah, it's an hour before Banter starts.
Oh, because it's after the Liverpool game, right?
Right.
Ah, beautiful. Okay.
Wale, we're gonna be on Banter talking about this one together,
Okay.
But yeah, Villa Spurs, what do you think? Keep in mind, West Ham would have played a day earlier.
I'll go Villa. And the reason I'm also going Villa has to do with the injuries for Spurs. They've
Man, it's
lost
crazy.
Xavi Simons. I think
It's
now
crazy
goals are even much more difficult for Spurs now
to come by.
because I think all they have is Solanke got injured that last game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
So I think all they have now is Tell, Richarlison, and who else? I think that's it, if I'm correct.
They're gonna have to make it work.
So I think goals is not going to be an issue for them between now and the season. And Villa at home, after just losing this game against Forest, yeah, I think I'll go Villa for this game.
I'm with you on that one. Monday. Ooh, Monday's got some
Tasty.
tasty fixtures. Yeah,
And early
really
in the
tasty.
morning too.
What's going on here?
Yep. Early rise, bro. On the
What's with
Monday.
that?
Yeah.
Is it a bank holiday
I
in
don't know
England?
what is happening, but whatever these TV guys are doing.
Yo, no, I bet you it's a bank holiday. I'm
Is
gonna
it a
Google
bank holiday? Check, maybe.
I'm looking at it right now. What?
Yeah. Tasty.
Exactly. May
It's a
4th
bank
is a
holiday?
bank holiday. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
like, why is it
makes
so
sense.
early? Like,
Makes sense. But
that
when
is
I saw that schedule,
crazy.
I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like Monday morning. You mean us this way are gonna wake up Monday morning and like, yeah.
It's 7 a.m. this way, you know.
7
So I'm
a.m.
waking
for
up
you.
on Monday and I'm like, let me see what you got for me. Let me see what you got.
Yeah. Nice 2 games on Monday.
Yeah. Let's quickly move on. So Chelsea Forest, what's the result there for
I'll
you?
go draw.
Man, you know, these days, man, Forest, they've been playing like some
They've been
gangbusters,
playing very
bro.
well. The reason I'm going draw because I think he might rotate.
They've
Because they
got a
play on a
game
Monday and they play on a Thursday.
Yeah.
So I think he might rotate. And then in terms of Chelsea, we still don't know what kind of Chelsea is going to come up and all that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Ted Lasso. They won last week against what they even play? In the FA Cup.
Leeds.
Forget what they played. Leeds,
I didn't watch that game. So
me
I don't
neither.
know.
I didn't watch
that game. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are not sure what lineup he puts out, but Forest, I think I'm with you. They'll probably rest a few key players, so that could be a draw because they're not all the way safe yet. But I think they will have they'll have one set of eyes on
that Thursday
the Thursday game.
Yeah.
But
I want
to
them
close
to
out
go on and win it.
Oh, did I not disclose this before?
Yeah, I kind of want Forest to win the Europa
am
League.
rooting for Forest all the way, man. Yeah. All the way. I want them to win the entire thing. I don't want them to get relegated. I want them to play in Champions League next season. They actually look like a proper team. They look like they should never have really been in that relegation battle in the first place. So,
because they bought some good, nice technical players in the summer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was shocked that
and their midfield is actually one of the most people don't give them credit.
That's why I was shocked that Ange just didn't get it right with that team. Like I didn't understand.
Gibbs White is the highest goal scorer in the Premier League this year.
He's been banging some nice goals. Man.
That is great. Yeah. So and then Anderson is so rated. You know what I mean? So I'm rooting for Forest, man. We're gonna get it done.
Let's go Forest. Yep.
We're gonna get it done, you know. But yeah, close out the week. Everton against Manchester City. Everton is at home to Manchester City. What do you see in this game, my brother?
I don't know. I kind of see a draw. It's just one of those ninth games away that's I don't know why I smell controversies and stuff. But I would go with draw. Yeah. Draw. Yes.
Okay, wait for this one. Delulu is on full Solulu right now. I am going with an Everton win. 2-1 to Everton. Yes.
Whoa.
2-1 to the Everton is what I'm doing, my bro. 2-1.
At least the good thing, both teams have gotten like a full week off and all that. So
give them 1 month off.
Yeah.
I'm still going to Everton. 2-1.
And Everton have lost their last 2 games, actually, just thinking about it.
They ain't gonna make it 3. They're not gonna
Okay.
make it 3. 2-1, my bro.
Yeah,
Delulu.
I think I'll go with a draw, like a 2-2 draw.
Beto, you got something for me, I know.
Of all
Come
people,
on, you
Beto.
Beto. Beto has been doing his thing. Oh.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
But that guy is
Beto has been.
that guy is wild.
Would you rather have Beto or Florian Verse right now? Or Isak? Would you rather take Beto or Isak? Come on, man. Yo, what are you saying? Beto has 8 goals and 1 assist in the league this year.
Yeah.
Do you want me to pull up Isak for you?
No. No.
3 and 1 for my boy.
That's wild.
Beto Light. You know.
Good game though. It's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, and it's gonna be 2-1 to Everton, you know. But before we jump off, we gotta look ahead to the Champions League games.
Oh, okay.
I think the ties obviously switch, so we start with Arsenal. Arsenal are going to be hosting Atletico at the Emirates. How do you see that game panning out?
Man, we're at home, so there's only one route I'm going, man. I'm going an Arsenal win. I know the atmosphere is going to be buzzing, bro. I know the atmosphere is going to be buzzing. Yeah. So I'm going an Arsenal win. I will predict your scores or just...
You give me what you got, bro. Because I have scores for you.
I think... yeah, your scores. I can't trust your scores these days, man. You be moving mad. I think I would go with a 2-0. Arsenal win, but I'll go with a 2-0. Imagine this game goes to penalties, bro.
I cannot imagine that.
Damn, I've not thought about that possibility, though.
But I
think we'll finish it at full time. And I think the crowd gets it. I guess the boys what they like. Yo, my subscribers, I'm sorry, I don't recognize this guy, man. This guy is moving mad. So we'll finish it at halftime, bruh.
Oh man. Yeah. My hope is this: we don't get any injuries on Saturday. Keep everybody fit, keep everybody as fresh as you can for Tuesday. And if we're able to do that, the likes of Saka, Eze, avoid any injuries on Saturday, I think I expect us to hammer Atletico 3-0 at home in the Emirates on Tuesday. The beating that they escaped this week, they will not escape it next week. That is it. No referee can save them. No grass cutting. We're going to cut the grass to the required length. There will be no flooding of the grass. Ball is going to move very smoothly. Everything is going to be in the condition for us to give belt to you know what next week. So 3-0 to the Arsenal. That's how I'm going with it. So 4-0 on Saturday. Then
just thinking about it, and I think a lot of our fans haven't really realized, like, we're literally like just a win away from the Champions League final.
Yeah,
like, bro, we haven't done that.
Because I've been talking about this forever.
Yeah, but I think it dawned on me yesterday. I was like, whoa, like one more win to a Champions League final, something we haven't done in 20
I've been telling you this forever, man. Like,
I think maybe because for me, I just haven't like had that. Remember, we talked about it, and I said the Champions League isn't something I've really
moments.
Yeah, like it's all about whatever Champions League, anything can happen. But yesterday after the game, it dawned on me like, bro, we're just a win away of making it to the Champions League final. So that's the main reason I say I think the atmosphere is going to be electric. because I think the fans are just going to like. It's going to
From
be
the moment we
a
beat
good day.
Sporting, I think, it became pretty evident that we have a clear line of sight,
Man, it was
to.
literally yesterday that the first time it like dawned on me, like, bro, you're close to a Champions League final.
So I think what a lot of people fail to realize, because the Champions League is such a prestigious competition, right? So I understand that. But I think the fact that PSG and Bayern Munich are all on the other side, they are both on the other side, it people cannot really contextualize that. Look, beat Atletico and you're in the finals. It's that simple.
Final. Yeah, literally.
It is really that simple. And you cannot play PSG and Bayern Munich at the same time. One of them has to take the other one out.
Yeah.
So the chances of you getting to the final and potentially winning the final are actually pretty good. It's in your hands right now.
In your hands, yeah.
If you give a lot of Arsenal
dawned on
fans
me yesterday, bro.
Yeah, if you give a lot of Arsenal fans the opportunity at the start of the season, you have one game to win it at the Emirates to get to the final. Do you take that chance? Of course they will take it. And that is exactly where we found ourselves now. So come on, you Gunners. We have to host Atletico on Tuesday, and we have to give them the beating of their lives to make it to the final. I'm all in. Let's go. Now on the
sorry, I know this is not football related. I don't know why I just said let me check the NBA playoffs.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. I watched that last night. I watched it last night.
Guy, do you know
which one
New
are you
York
talking
and
about?
Atlanta are playing right now?
Atlanta's up.
Bro, check the score. So
don't
for
do
those who
this,
are not
man.
into NBA, let's not kill it for them.
Yeah.
But bro, just check the score right now.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Brother. Yo.
I've never seen.
I have never seen
this in my life.
Yo,
at the time of recording, guys, it is the second quarter, 4 minutes and 39 seconds into the second quarter. The Knicks are up 72 points to Atlanta's 22. That is a 50-point lead,
bro,
in the second
quarter. 22 points. Oh,
50 points.
50
is what?
Guy, they've scored 7 points in the second quarter. Knicks have scored 32 points in the second quarter.
Wow.
This is nasty.
On their home court,
After this,
bro.
I need to go and join that game, bro.
Yeah, I'm running upstairs right now.
This is nasty work.
On their home court, bro. How do you have a closeout game? And this is anyway.
My bad for diverging.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, but
that one caught me off guard, man.
Yo, okay. Let's close out with the last game. The PSG Bayern Munich game. PSG are up 5-4. They're going away to Germany.
I think.
What do you think?
I don't know why I feel Bayern Munich takes it now. I don't know why. I think maybe because they are going home. And I think, like you said, we're not going to see the same game we saw 2 days ago. And I'm changing my prediction from PSG to Bayern Munich. Yeah. I think PSG regrets what happened 2 days ago.
I don't know if they regret it as much as you want them to regret it, which I think I'm also on the same boat with you. I think last week when we were recording, I said PSG are going to take the tie. I think you had mentioned
take the tie and that game. That was what I predicted.
Oh, I meant both, so I'm not going to run away from that.
Both.
I meant both.
Yeah, I know. I said the tie and that game. Both, bro.
Yeah, I thought they were going to win both of those games. They won the first one quite all right, but it's not convincing, right?
Yeah.
I have to accept and admit that. I think that they've left themselves in big trouble.
Big trouble.
Only taking taking a one goal lead to Germany is not the worst thing in itself.
Yeah.
Right? Because you gotta win and you're going away. But when you concede 4, you've basically told the other team there's something
They
there
can
for them
get
to
at
come
you.
and take.
Yeah.
Right. And that is exactly what Bayern Munich is going to be feeling. And I think that
And when you
at
also
this point, I
consider how
still,
PSG plays, it would
how they
suit.
play, and there are some key things too. Ashraf Hakimi is injured.
Is injured. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so somebody else is going to play that. And I don't know that. I think they lose something there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm still riding with PSG, even though from what I've seen, if we go on to qualify for the final, when we go on to qualify for the final, I actually think, I actually think Bayern Munich is a better matchup for us than PSG.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I cannot explain it to you, but that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
So the selfish part of me wants the Bayern Munich smoke more than it wants the PSG smoke.
The PSG smoke, yeah.
Having said that, I cannot bet against Enrique, man. I think that what we discussed last week, this is the time for him to show us if it's really about that life.
Facts, because
right?
he still has the advantage if we actually
Yes.
dip it correctly. You're right. He
Yeah,
still has the
I
advantage.
think
Yeah.
they don't play that ego trip thing that you were talking about. I think they manage the game a little bit more responsibly, take their moments, because they've done it before. They beat us when they created fewer XG, right? And I think against Chelsea, wasn't it the same? Chelsea created a lot, and they were by far the better team
so.
in terms
Yeah.
of XG created. So I think I expect to see a similar game. Dembele cannot be as wasteful, so he's going to have to figure that out. But I think I'm still going to give PSG the edge just because I predicted Enrique teaching company a lesson into this one. So I'm going to have to eat my words and stick with it if that doesn't happen. But I'm sticking with my prediction on this one.
Yeah, I think I just might switch to Bayern. I think going to the Allianz Arena, I think the energy and everything is tough. I think everything is going to change. And if Bayern Munich especially should get a goal early on, which is not going to force PSG to like really, really come out, bro, I think Bayern Munich can tear them apart. Because there's one clip that keeps staying in my head when I watched that game, was that Luis Diaz's goal. If you look at that goal, look at where Kane played that pass from and how high the PSG defense were at that time. It made no sense to me. Even when he had all the time to control and everything, I still didn't see any of the PSG defenders get into that picture frame at that point. So I think if Bayern Munich should get an early goal, I think PSG are also going to like try to get back again on that front foot, and with the pace and clinical finishing of the likes of Harry Kane, I think it's going to be a long, long day. But another game I'm excited for. I don't know why. I just feel maybe because Bayern Munich is at home, I think they might do it. Yeah.
I think Enrique is going to have to be really aggressive, like ultra aggressive. I went back maybe a few days ago, actually, to watch how we played Bayern Munich.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Saliba tracked Kane all over the pitch.
Mm-hmm. That was when we played them was it this last game earlier, in Champions League? I remember. Saliba was man-marking that guy.
Anywhere Kane went, that guy
was there. Yeah.
And so if you remember, that was actually one of Kane's worst games this season.
Worst games, yeah. Even Olise didn't have a good game that game.
And I'm getting somewhere with that.
Yeah.
I believe that if you take Kane out of this game, or out of Bayern Munich's gameplay, it nullifies a lot of the other guys. Because what Kane does, he drops so deep to get the ball that it creates a lot of space for those runners, Kane and Diaz, right, to be able to go in. Because whoever is picking Kane, you have to pay attention. Look where he played that ball from to Diaz. That's not where you expect your number. Your number 9 should not be doing that. Your number 9 should be on the receiving end.
On the receiving end of that.
For a lot of teams for that. And so by him doing that, it creates those spaces. So if somebody can track that guy for 90 minutes and stop him from receiving and turning on that ball and finding spaces, those pockets in behind the defense, I think they take a good chunk of what Bayern Munich is trying to do out of the game. So I'm interested to see, I talked about the tactical piece that I personally enjoy watching. I'm really interested to see how Enrique sets up his team to nullify some of those threats from Bayern Munich, because they are crazy, man. That front three is deadly, right? I don't think any team boasts that in the world, right? Having a front three that is really, really deadly like that.
Which front three do you think is better? Or if you had to choose one as a manager, which one would you pick?
I'm choosing Bayern Munich right now.
Yeah, I think there's a balance. I think there's a balance.
Yes,
there.
Exactly. Yeah. And not just that there's a balance, like who plays on the right for PSG? Do it, right?
Sometimes do it, sometimes Bacola, but most times
whoever that person is.
Sometimes it could be
I think Olise.
Dembele. Yeah. Oh, you mean for Bayern or PSG?
For PSG.
PSG, they always switch it up. Dembele, Doué.
So yeah. Let's say Doué. Because the front three, if you ask me what is a better front three, I assume you're talking about Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, and Doué. Doué.
Yeah.
So if I'm picking that, Dembele is the 9 in that equation. Dembele or Kane? Kane is the clear answer for me.
Kane is the clear answer, yeah.
Because of what he can do on the pitch. He can score with the best of them, but he can also create better than most.
Yeah.
Now, Kvaratskhelia and Diaz. Now, stylistically, you might like Kvaratskhelia better, but Diaz is putting up mad numbers, and he does a lot more for the team in defense. If I ask you to pick between Doué or whatever his name is, I know they say.
Yeah, there's no question.
So the front three basically picks itself.
It picks itself. They're very balanced. Yeah. That's what I like about that front three. They're very balanced.
They complement each other.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Yeah, they complement each other. So, I can see Bayern Munich winning, but because I'm sticking to my guns, and I think Enrique has tactical things up his sleeve that he can really do to turn this. Well, it's not really turning the tire around. They're leading. I'm gonna go with PSG. Gonna go with PSG. All right, man. I think that brings us to the end of our conversation today. This is where we're not playing on the Atlanta Hawks today because clearly they're down bad right now. So we're on the Knicks today. We're on the Knicks up 50. You know what I'm saying? Up 50. So I'm going to pass you to Rob Brunson to bring us home. What are you saying?
Yeah, man. Thanks again to the usuals. The subscribers, please share with your family, your friends, football lovers. We appreciate the work and see you guys same time, same place. Peace.
All right, my guy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm going to go catch the rest of the game.
Same here.
We'll be in touch.
Take it easy,
man.
bro.
Cheers.
Yeah.